Hello and welcome back to another podcast on Spurs This Week. Today, I am joined by Charlie from N17 Nation. How you doing, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Today's the last day of 2020, and I think we're all happy about that. So
Yeah. Happy New Year's to everyone listening as well. Happy New Year's Eve if you get to listen to this today. I'm Toby from _ Spurs Center. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning. But today we're going to be going over that drab 1-1 draw with Wolves, and then we're going to talk a little bit about other results in the league and how they can affect us, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen in 2021 for Spurs, or at least our best guess. So let's just jump right into it with the Wolves game. What'd you think of it?
I mean, the question, what do you think of it? I mean, there's only one answer. Really bad.
Yeah, really poor performance from the boys.
It was just it's worrying that now for 4 games, the same mistakes made constantly by not just Jose but the players.
Yeah.
And it's just they're not learning from their mistakes, and hopefully that we won't see that again. But I'm not very confident. I don't know.
Well, for me,
but yeah,
this is gonna sound. I was planning on getting into this later, but I think it's a good chance to bring it up. So after the games that we've drawn or lost, Mourinho, except for the Liverpool game, Mourinho has said, "I didn't tell them to park the bus. I told them to get forward, and they didn't listen to me."
But I don't believe him.
So I have two things I'll say on that. So either way, we have a problem. One way is that our manager is too stubborn to admit that his tactics aren't working, and he's blaming it on the players. Or 2, he's telling the truth, and our players aren't fully carrying out his plan, which is probably worse. And this is going to sound kind of dramatic, but if that's the case, and he's putting out players and they aren't executing his game plan, we need to bench them all for maybe just for a game, but just get them all off the field. If they're not going to listen to his instructions, if they're not going to perform his tactics, bring in the reserves. Bring in Carlos Vinicius, Lucas Moura.
No. Toby, you're going a bit. You're fantasizing now. That can't be true. You see, that's the thing. It can't be true because players like Lo Celso, Kane, and Son are the ones that want chances. And no players on the planet would enjoy playing like that, constantly defending. Not even the defenders like defending that much. Our players are the kind of players that want to be in control of games. And they know that these tactics are not very nice to watch or play. So it just can't be true because look at players like Lo Celso, the attacking midfielder who wants as many goals and assists as he can, but is forced to play defensively. He's not going to want to play like that. That's what Harry Redknapp said. It's just not. I just can't see it being true. The players have been great for from the start of the season. A bit of a dip in form right now, but why would they do that? They're too good players for that. I mean,
honestly,
they're professionals. They can't just not listen to.
Is that they're being lazy and that they're
come
tired?
On.
Well, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's the.
But how come we play no. So if we're tired, then how come when we're losing and we actually get on the ball, like we did against Wolves in the last, 10 minutes, we actually went forward and kept the ball well. Like in the last 10 minutes, Wolves hardly touched the ball after they equalised because we actually tried to play football, and that's what shocks me. When we're not winning, and when we need a goal, and when Jose actually tells them to go a bit more forward, we actually keep it well, and the other team hardly touch it. And why don't we just play like that? We hardly ever let a goal in this season, at least, when we're losing and we're looking for another one. We haven't really let a goal in, but when we keep defending and then after we let a goal in, we still defend, we let another in, and I don't know. I just can't see that being true. I think it's just a Jose excuse, not that. It's the players' fault as well that we haven't been performing, obviously, but Jose really needs to change stuff because this is the closest. I'm not saying Jose out, not.
No.
But It's the closest that I've been to even being close to saying that, because I mean he's at least if he accepted his mistakes, but these excuses in the press conferences first started off with the better team lost, and then after the Leicester game he said also that, and the Wolves game he said it's not a fair reflection of the game, the stats and the result, and it's just not true, Jose.
Technically, with the Wolves, the Wolves game, he was right. The result wasn't a fair reflection of the game because Wolves should have won. To be completely honest.
Well, but Fabio Silva really could have netted that last chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, what worries me about this? Yes, I know he's got a big ego. That's his thing, and yeah, it's not that big a problem that he's making excuses like that. It's worrying because he makes it seem like he's not telling his players that they're doing anything wrong. If that's the case, he's lying not just to the players and the fans, but to himself. If he thinks that's the right way to play, because it's just not, it's not true. But hopefully, I was really distressed about the Fulham game being cancelled because I'm not underestimating Fulham in any way, but I mean, yes, it gives our players more. I guess it is a positive that we have more rest into the Leeds game, but I'm confident that we would have won that game.
Yeah. I mean, but for me in the Wolves game, they scored that late equalizer, and I mean, I wanted to hope that we'd go and net the winner, but how can you go and net the winner when you only have 3 attacking players on the field? I mean, we ended the game with.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Stop. Like, this is, yes, we're defending, but how risky is it to take off Son and Ndombele and who was the last guy? Reguilon. Putting Bergwijn on for Reguilon was the worst substitution I've ever seen in my life.
I was excited when that happened, actually. I was
defensively, hoping... No, I'm sorry, but defensively, it was working with 5 at the back. It was working. And then straight away when Bergwijn came on, Adama is on that side. Adama was already exploiting the hell out of Davies. Like, Davies literally... Adama went past Davies like 5 times in that game.
That's dramatic.
It was... No, Davies got an assist, yes, but in defensively, if you actually look at the game again, but Adama passed him definitely a few times in the box, and they crossed it into the box so many times. And I mean, it's not luck, but every time it hit one of our players and we clear it. But on another day, it could have been worse. I'm not saying we were defending well, but when Bergwijn came on for Reguilon, it all changed. And I'm sorry, one very important thing, I'm going to be discussing this quite a lot today, Ndombele. So,
world class.
Jose needs to give him 90 minutes. Yeah, Ndombele that was his best performance in the Spurs shirt. That's best midfielder in the world game, right? I mean, he doesn't do it every game, but if he could do that every game, he'd be the best midfielder in the world, no doubt. I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, but yeah, what I was actually going to say is about that he takes Ndombele off every game. Around the 60th minute.
I think it's become a case of.
So, what's your thoughts on that?
Would you rather have a Ndombele for 60 minutes every game, or would you rather have him for 90 minutes every other game?
No, but that's not the point. Ndombele is never going to be used to playing 90 minutes if he never gives him 90 minutes.
That's true.
So,
But
I mean, maybe Ndombele did pick up a knock or something. But
I think the other thing to consider, though, is
also taking Son off.
Lo Celso being injured, so
with injuries.
So if Ndombele gets injured, we're really, really in trouble. But Eric Lamelo's coming back.
It's Dele Alli time.
looks like Dele Alli's probably going to leave in January. But
Yeah, he is.
yeah, it's a tricky situation.
What I also wanted to mention is taking Son off seems to be a bit of a curse right now.
Yeah.
Every time we take him off, I don't think people. Yes, he was poor against Wolves. Maybe he was poor because we were defending so much. Because like people really like criticized Kane for his performance against Wolves. I mean, he was one of the like his passing was on point. He created a few little chances here and there, but what can he do when our team is playing so defensively? And I don't understand what he can do about it. But I mean, no one except for Ndombele, put in a really standout performance. But every time we take Son off, we seem to concede, and it's really frustrating. I don't know what we can do about it. I don't think people realize how important he is for our defense, because I mean, he's just vital for our defense, clearly. But let's move on to after Wolves game. Let's move on to the Fulham game being cancelled.
Yeah, it seemed to be a few issues within our club about being upset that we weren't notified sooner, because we apparently only had a little over 3 hours.
Jose definitely let the Premier League know that with his Instagram post, didn't he?
Yeah. That was funny.
Which is actually, I mean, really, the Premier League isn't professional enough. The VAR officials and the refs are really poor, and now they don't even notify the clubs in time. It's not, they need to step up a bit. I mean, for the best league on the planet, it's just not good enough. But talking about the Fulham game, so I said I think that we probably would have won, but I'm not to underestimate Fulham though.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating. But luckily none of our players have had corona yet this season, which is a real blessing, if I must say it like that.
Yeah.
And it's worrying because England, pretty much everywhere in England's now tier 3 and above, which is bad, and a lot of cases. So hopefully we won't get any cases. But imagine if Kane and Son I mean, I don't even want to imagine it. I mean, the Fulham game just got cancelled, and now the positive is that we have more ahead of the Leeds game and the Brentford game.
Something also to consider is I'm not saying that this is like they should have gone through with the game, but according to the Premier League, all you need is to have 14 players from the senior team, and you can use U20, or you have to include U21 players who are healthy. So I don't believe that there wasn't 14 players that didn't have COVID in that Fulham dressing room, including their U21.
If I'm being honest, I think there's a bit of Fulham being scared to play us there as well, if I'm being honest.
Well, because now they've really effed us in terms of later this season, we're going to have to play a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, which was hard enough at the beginning of the season when we were fresh. But now we're going to have midweek games essentially until the end of the season. So our depth is going to we'll have midweek games until the end of the season if we move on in every competition, which I don't see why we shouldn't. I mean, we're playing a team we should easily beat in the semifinal for the EFL Cup. Knocking on wood, not to jinx it. I
am worried about Brentford. They are second in the championship, and they are really looking good right now.
I'd be more worried if it was an away game, because we really struggle with away games. But if it's at home, so I'm a little less concerned.
I wouldn't say we really struggle with away games, but if statistically this season.
In Cup, we lost. Not in the Premier League. Not in the Premier League. In Cup
we lost 3 times away. Oh yeah, in Cup competitions. Yeah. Also, I'm really sorry for Marine. If you want to help Marine Football Club, check out Hotspur, but instead of with an X, Hotspur on Instagram, and on one of his recent posts, you have information to help Marine because not having fans has really hit the club financially. So yeah,
And they're selling
it's
match day
nice to do what
programs
we can.
and split scarves. I think
Yeah,
they may have run out of match day programs,
yeah,
but I'm sure they'll restock pretty soon.
yeah. But losing 180,000 is really big for a club like them.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll get back. But yeah, Marine. I mean, I don't think we should really. I mean, there's not much to analyze about that. We really should be. I mean, going.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah. So we should beat Marine, we should beat Brentford, and then we should beat the team that we're playing in the round of 32, with like Wolfsburger or something like that. So we should move on in all three of those competitions, meaning we'll have the final for the EFL Cup sometime in April. We'll have the round of 16 for the Europa League, and we'll have I'm not sure what round it is, the next round of the FA Cup. So we're gonna have a lot of matches to be played this season. And this Fulham postponement doesn't help us at all, especially if we're still trying to be the dark horse in the race for the Premier League title. Because although we have been dropping points,
Yeah, it doesn't.
Last weekend alone,
I'll tell-
Leicester, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Southampton, and Liverpool all dropped points. So, I mean, it's wide open at the top if we can just pick up a few points.
I'll tell you what does help us: Liverpool constantly drawing. That definitely does help us.
Darlow came in with another prime Neuer performance against them.
Yeah, he seems to do it. He always seems to do it against the best teams.
Yeah.
If only he didn't do it against us. But he made some amazing saves, especially that one against Salah.
Yeah,
and that's really helped us.
Yeah.
But yeah, now let's talk a bit about the Leeds game.
The Leeds game? Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about their game last weekend against West Brom. I was like, why would we review that? Okay. So I think unless Leeds change their tactics heavily against us, I think this is going to be a pretty solid, easy game for us. Knocking on wood again, not to jinx it.
I think you know what I think. I think we're absolutely going to get humiliated and thrashed, or absolutely destroy them. Now, that sounds weird, but if you actually look at it, I just can't see it being a close game because Bielsa is probably the most attacking manager in world football, with Jose being one of the most defensive ones. And it depends how we line up, because if Leeds attacks us like they attacked, who did Leeds lose to 5-0 recently or something? They just beat West Brom 5-0, but who did they just...
I'm looking. You keep talking, I'll find it.
Yeah, they just beat West Brom 5-0, and West Brom are one of those teams that play defensively. But as Klopp said when Liverpool drew with West Brom, he said that he's never seen anything like it. That the Big Sam formation, it was a 6-4. There was no attack. There was just 6 defenders and 4 midfielders. And that's how West Brom stopped Liverpool from scoring. But they didn't play quite as defensively against Leeds, and they absolutely got punished for it. So I think if we play defensively, but then because I think our counter-attacking will be perfect Leeds' defense is very bad this season, and Son and Kane should definitely capitalize on that, especially on the counter, because they will literally be coming at us in waves, one after another. But if we do defend well, it should be a pretty comfortable game.
Yeah.
But if that goes wrong and Leeds score early, I can definitely see us being humiliated. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, because Leeds do.
Even if they do score first, I think Leeds' system seems to be just keep scoring. So I'm not too concerned. I'm pretty confident because I feel like our counterattacking, like I said, unless they significantly change their tactics, I'm pretty confident because They seem to play a very high line, committing players forward. And so if we get like one opportunity like every like 20 minutes, like I feel like that's being pretty safe. Like we'll get at least one opportunity every 20 minutes where they're committed forward and we win the ball off them and we're able to play a pass up to Kane, who's in like the middle-ish of the park, or maybe like between like the semicircle or the circle of the half and then the semicircle of our box, and he's able to like just pick it up in that space and then look and find Bergwijn and Bale or whoever's playing and Son. I think we'll score quite a few goals that way. Because I feel like their system just really leaves them open to the counterattack, and that seems to be what we're thriving on. As long as we play more than 3 attacking players. I mean, in the Wolves game, we had 5 defenders, and at one point we had Winks, Sissoko, and Højbjerg. So, like, obviously we're not going to create chances when we have that team out there. So I'm really hoping that Mourinho realizes that what we're doing isn't working, and after we score, if we score first, that we don't just park the bus and then continue to go after the game and get a 2 or 3 goal lead. Maybe 4 goals after what happened at West Ham. But so I'm thinking
But this is what worries me. Jose is the most stubborn guy on earth. He said it himself in the press conference. They asked him in the press conference, will you be changing your attacking style and your defensive style and everything? Will we see a change in the system at the back? And he said, I'm not going to tell you. After 5 minutes, you might realize, but I'm not going to tell you. That's what he said before the Wolves game. But and then after the Wolves game, he said like that. He literally said that he's not going to be changing the system. And I mean, if he's not, we're just going to keep losing like this, to be honest, and he'll get sacked. So that's his problem. But let's talk a bit about transfer news, because there's a lot of transfer news coming in.
Mm-hmm. Starting with today from Christian Falk saying that Man City are preparing for a 100 million euro bid over the summer for Harry Kane. Would you take that?
I don't think we should be worried at all. Kane is not the kind. If Kane is going to go somewhere, he's not going to stay in England. Yes, you'd think he'd want to stay in England to beat Alan Shearer's record, but he's either going to go to Real Madrid or PSG even, or I don't know, but he's not going to be going to Manchester City. I can confirm that. And even if he was, Levy would never in a million years accept 100 million. Even if we don't even finish top 6, there's just no way that he's going to accept that. At least 150 is acceptable. At least, like a year ago we valued him at 350 million. So I can't see it happening. But what I find interesting, a lot of transfer news involving PSG, because Poch will be confirmed as manager literally any second at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And
although I'm confused as to why
it's actually pretty. I don't understand. I think they're probably still discussing stuff with Tuchel. But what I don't, because I read somewhere that Poch's contract is all ready. They're just waiting for Tuchel to whatever. I don't know. But Poch and PSG is literally. It's really weird that they've appointed him. I mean, yes, he used to be their player, but if you look at them, they're the opposites, because Poch has always been at teams with a small budget, working with the youth, and he's always at teams with a history and trying to get them back to where they used to be. And now he's just going to a team that was literally that before 2009 only won 2 French leagues, and they're literally pumping money into the team, and he can spend however much money he wants. It's different for him. And a lot of people are saying it's a mistake. I don't think so. I think he's going to win everything with them if he does join them.
Yeah.
But
Well, the
what's
other thing
worrying
that's
me, I mean, there's been rumours he's going to take Lloris, Kane, Ali. I mean, he's not. He's
he can
not.
try.
Surely he's not.
He
He
can
can't
try.
do
He
that.
can try.
But he won't do that to us. But he won't do that to us. He's too nice. He can't do that. He can't, surely.
But the other thing that's interesting
He
about
can
his
take
deployment,
Lloris after this season, but not right now.
the other thing I was just going to say though was Poch's tactics have always been to. Sorry, I'm blanking on the right word for it, but I'll choose something else. It's like the club over the player, if that makes sense. Like, no player is special in his system. Like every player plays for the team, and every player is a hard worker. In training, they run and they run and they run and they run. And I'm not sure how their big stars are going to react to that. Neymar, I don't think will want to do it. Mbappe, I'm not sure if he'll want to do it. Just those are their two biggest stars, and then Icardi, I'm not sure what he'll do.
Oh, come on. But Mbappe and Neymar don't even need to do that because they're already in the top 4 best players on the planet. They will fit in. I think he'll have a lot of time. He'll have a lot of fun implementing them into his squad. But, I mean, I think he'll be successful. I don't think he'll win the Champions League, but, I mean, he should do pretty well. I mean, but I just don't understand why PSG sacked Tuchel, to be honest. I don't get it. It's so hard.
Because he didn't win the
You
Champions
got
League.
them to their first Champions League final.
And lost.
You got them to the first Champions League final. That's not the point.
Well, I mean,
that's not the point. They won a game 4-0 and then they sacked him.
This is very similar though to when Spurs sacked Pochettino. I mean, Pochettino got us to our first ever Champions League final, and then
yes, but we were 14th.
Yeah, PSG. Hold on, PSG are in third.
Our second.
I mean, for them, that is disgraceful. I mean, to be in third after 17 games.
Yeah, I know, but we all know they're eventually going to win the league.
Yeah.
And they had just won 4-0. I still think it's harsh, but yeah, let's go off PSG. So, any other transfer news?
There's been some rumors about Christian Eriksen coming back to the club. Marcel Sabitzer. Who would you take?
Oh, yeah, Marcel.
I feel like we've talked about this before, but to remind the listeners.
Oh, Marcel, definitely. I mean, there's no dilemma.
People have been saying,
if it was
like,
Eriksen prime,
yeah, if it was Eriksen
I would
prime,
take Eriksen.
I'd take it. But like looking at it, people are saying like, oh, people don't remember he was one of our best players, even if it ended poorly. It's like, okay, but we're not getting the player we all want to remember. We're not getting him back. We're getting I'm gonna be a little mean to Eriksen here, but we're getting a washed up Danish Serie A flop.
I'm sorry, but he is washed up. He's more washed up than Dele Alli. And if I'm being totally honest, I cannot see him ever getting back to what he was. I actually think I've said this before, but I think the Champions League final broke him. Since then, he has not kicked a ball normally. He's just looked totally off his game. And playing football, but when he comes off the bench for Inter, when he's next to Conte, standing to be brought on, like his eyes, he looks like he's crying at this point. He's just, I don't know what's happened to him, but I don't know. I wish him luck, but
if he had just stayed at Spurs and continued to give it his all, essentially, he'd still be the player he was. But he wanted to go have this little Italian dream, and
yes, well, I think he was just cocky. He thought he was Real Madrid standard, and he let everyone know that. He let everyone know that he was Real Madrid standard. He made it known that he wanted to leave. He ruined himself by doing that, and he's not Real Madrid standard, clearly, because not playing for Inter has literally broke him easily. And you need to have a stronger mentality than that. I love the man. I mean, actually, if I'm being honest, a year ago, maybe even now, he's my favorite ever Spurs player. Honestly, I absolutely love him, but I just can't. He's just not doing very well. But
No.
yeah.
I'm just imagining
But
Daniel
talking
Levy
about Dele
having.
Alli, Poch is also planning to bring Dele Alli back. To PSG.
I'd
What do
take
you
that.
think
I
of
mean,
that?
depending on how much it was, I'd take it because then we can reinvest into players like Sabitzer or maybe Basuma. A lot of
There's
Spurs fans.
also a lot of yeah. There's also many rumours right now, which is worrying me, that we're interested in Sami Khedira,
Really, I haven't seen those.
and that Jose's keen on him.
I hope you don't do that.
And that's a bit worrying because he's a very Jose player, and I absolutely do not rate him at all. And he's 34 years old. So if Jose does this, I'm not going to be happy.
Actually, I guess I
But
wouldn't mind
yeah,
it if we
we
signed
don't need.
him on like. Hold on, hear me out. Hear me out. I
Actually,
wouldn't mind
he's a
it.
perfect Højbjerg replacement, if you think about it.
Who? Sorry.
Because we're looking, as you said in your post, we said we're looking for Højbjerg replacement. So he
Yeah.
wouldn't be that bad at that. But at the same time, I don't want it.
But I feel like signing Sami Khedira wouldn't be a bad move on like a year and a half contract because then we get like a backup for Højbjerg, and then this summer we get Oliver Skip back, and the feeling I feel like amongst a lot of Spurs fans has been once we get Skip back, he'll be the perfect backup to Højbjerg. But I'm thinking maybe
He
Oliver
won't be
Skip,
a backup next season. Don't worry about that.
Well, I was thinking
He
next
will
season.
be starting.
Yeah, I
Mark
was
my
gonna say
words.
Oliver Skip can be playing alongside Højbjerg, and I mean I haven't seen a whole lot of Oliver Skip, I'll be honest, but from what I have seen, I've been excited. I've seen like little clips of his gameplay from Norwich. His I keep track of like his match ratings in the games he plays, and he's consistently upper like 6.8, 6.9, 7.2 sometimes. So I think he'll be a Musa Sissoko replacement. Maybe. But then we get that to see that combination of Højbjerg and Skip, Højbjerg, Skip, and Nobile, which should be like able to unlock Nobile even more, giving him even more attacking freedom that we have now that we have Skip and Højbjerg behind him, because Højbjerg is a very defensive midfielder, and Mr. Sissoko is pretty good at defending one-on-ones. I'm not sure how good Oliver Skip is at that, but he's a defensive midfielder, so I'd have to imagine he's pretty good. And then Skip's ball carrying ability. I mean, I saw a clip of him a couple weeks ago, I think, like picking up in the back and then driving forward and playing in their left winger. Or I think it was Timo Pukki he played in. But I'm pretty excited about Oliver Skip, I have to be honest. And then we'll get Ryan Sessegnon back next year as well. I'm excited to see him battle with Sergio Reguilon for that left back spot, because Sessegnon's doing exceptional in Germany. So. And then we can still sign players in the transfer market. So our options are wide open at the moment, especially if we can sell players like Sanchez and Dele and Rose, even if we don't get a lot for Rose, Gazzaniga, and that will open doors for us. Like if we pick up 30 million on Dele, 15 million on Gazzaniga, that's 45 million. Did I say 30? I said 30 for Dele, right? So it opens up 45 million. And with that money, we could sign a center back, or we could sign an attacking midfielder or a defensive midfielder. So a lot of rumors.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited ahead of the January transfer window, which starts tomorrow. I'm very interested. Jedson's obviously going to go back to Benfica.
Yeah.
We might even get rid of Sissoko, which I think would be a really bad move.
Yeah,
but
we can't get rid of Sissoko.
What do you think about Winks, though? Do you think you would get rid of Winks if we got another midfielder?
Not yet.
I don't know. Winks was so very bad against Wolves, though.
What?
My God, he literally. Were you watching the game in the first half at least?
He wasn't horrible.
In the first half, in 5. No, he wasn't horrible, all right. But in the last 5 minutes of the game, he had a perfect pass just to nudge it onto Kane, and Kane could have shot easily, and he didn't. He just mucked it up, and then 20 seconds later, he literally passed the ball out of play. He was not on form, and he did kick the ball out of the box a few times, though. I mean, he wasn't that bad, but not his best game for his 100th appearance as well.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't his best game, but I think we're starting to see a little bit of progression in Winks games of being able to pass the ball forwards. Because I mean, that's something that he struggled with.
Yeah, well, I think since since he was representing England like a month and a half ago, where like if you look at his stats in his last 7 or 8 games, he's had like 4 assists and 2 goals or something,
Yeah,
which is very impressive.
Mhm.
Since
But I mean,
since the international break, so yeah.
so in the game
Because I
against,
think he's really trying to be a starter for us. You know, I think he's really working hard.
and that's I mean that's
But
what we
yeah.
want to see. I mean, he earned his spot in the team against Wolves, with that exceptional performance against Stoke, and he got an assist, which is a rare thing for him in a Spurs shirt. He hasn't done that a lot. And then against Wolves, he had 4 out of his 5 long balls were accurate. So I mean, he is playing it forward. He is creating those long ball opportunities, and then his like pass breakdown. He had 49 accurate passes, and 22 of them were the opposition half. So I think he's progressing. I think it would be a shame to let him go in January. If we're gonna get rid of him, I'd say wait until the summer.
Yeah. I don't think we should sell him. I don't think he'll ever be a starter, but you know, I think he's a good rotational player, a bit like Scott Parker was.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about who I would like to sign in the January transfer window, I'd like to sign Sabitzer, not Dybala, Sabitzer.
No. Yeah, I'd rather say
Sergio Ramos, we didn't mention him. Sergio Ramos.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. One interesting question: would you rather go for Upamecano or Sergio Ramos if you could get both? I mean, if you could get one of them.
I'd rather have Upamecano.
No, I would. Yeah, I would take Upamecano, but a lot of people actually saying Sergio Ramos, which is very interesting. I mean, he's older.
I mean, Ramos is probably a better player, but I take Upamecano because I mean he's like 23 or something. We'd have him for a long time, compared to Ramos, we'd probably only have for a year or two.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but just imagine Ramos at Spurs. That would just be awesome, wouldn't it? I mean, he'd
That'd be pretty
literally
funny.
definitely
What do you think about
assure us
this?
top 4.
What do you think about the Diego Costa rumors about us picking him up on a free? Would you take that?
No, I'm sorry, I don't want him. I'd rather buy Vinicius for 40 million than get Diego Costa. I love I mean, no, I don't love Diego. I mean, I rate him, but he can't do the job for Atletico in La Liga like that. Why should we trust him in the Premier League?
That's a fair point.
I mean, yes, he used to play for Jose and stuff, but I don't think he's.
I was checking because I feel like he has been pretty successful. Let him go. Hold on. Yeah, I guess he hasn't had a great year this time out, but he's been injured quite a lot this year. But I feel I don't know why we're not playing Vinicius more. I mean, I thought when he's played, he's played really well. He's picked up a few goals. He's had a few assists in the few games he's been playing. So I was actually hoping he'd start against Fulham after Mourinho said that he was a doubt for the game, but he was still like maybe he would play. So I was hoping that he would start because Kane looked absolutely just exhausted in the game against Wolves, and so I was hoping we'd see Vinicius there. But maybe we'll see a little bit of him in the Leeds game. Maybe he'll get subbed on late, depending on how the game's going, which hopefully he doesn't need to be subbed on late. Hopefully we take care of business early. But yeah, I really rate Vinicius. I think he opened up that game for us against West Brom. So I don't understand why there's all these striker rumors. I mean, I think Troy Parrott, he'll be coming back this summer. I think he is a world-class talent, and maybe he'll be ready for getting some like minutes late on in games. Or starting games in the like FA Cup early rounds or the EFL Cup early rounds, or Champions League group stage should we qualify. So I think it'll be unnecessary to have 4 strikers on our books next season. So yeah. Anything else you want to talk about today?
What can we expect in 2021? Spurs.
2021. Spurs' first trophy. I'm saying it now. We're gonna win a trophy. It's undeniable.
I think we'll win a trophy as well.
I think we're gonna win the EFL Cup. I'm excited about that one. I'm nervous to see how we play against Brentford, and then who we get in the final, whether it's Man United. I really hope Man City wins, because if Man United win, I feel like they're gonna come after us with like a vengeance, because they need to get some prove themselves after we beat them 6-1. And I think we can still beat them, but I would prefer to play City. And then in the FA Cup, I mean, I think we can run far in that competition as well. Europa League, I think we can go far in, and I think we're the dark horse to win the Premier League. So imagine if we just won the quadruple this year.
I don't think we'll win the Premier League. We're not consistent enough, even if we do go in a good run of form. But yeah.
Anything you want to see?
But I think we'll definitely win a trophy. But I also think that we will we'll win the Europa League, and then we will be top of the Premier League by this time next year.
Woo.
Mark my words.
Well, I mean, right now, should that game against Fulham have gone through, we would have been in 3rd place.
If we won, yeah.
So we would have been in 3rd place, 4 points off the top, 1 point off of 2nd. So I mean, that is probably the closest we've been to the top, or that would have been the closest we've been to the top in quite a few years. So we need to go on a run of form, like the next 10-ish games, 10 or 11 games, where we just win. So against Leeds, Brentford, Marine, Aston Villa, Sheffield, Liverpool, Brighton, and Chelsea. If we win all of those games, which we should, we're at home against Liverpool and we're at home against Chelsea. But theoretically, we should win all of those games. And then I'm assuming Liverpool will have to drop points at some point in that run. And then we'll only be 1 point off of them with a game in hand. So it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. So I think Spurs will have a really good year in 2021. And I think we will finally bring a trophy to White Hart Lane for the first time since 2008. And Jose will be the man to do it if he changes the way he's thinking and his tactics. So, come on, you Spurs, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone. Remember to check us out on YouTube. We just uploaded a new video today, reviewing Spurs 2020. You should check that out. Remember to subscribe and like on those videos. Leave a review on our podcast as well. We'd really appreciate it. It helps boost us in terms of getting recommended to new listeners. And come on, you Spurs.